Hello everyone, welcome back to Genius Knowledge Point, your one place for practical programming solutions for computer and IT students. I am making this video to provide practical knowledge to all students so that you can develop your own programs which will be helpful for your studies as well as career. In this video we will perform practical number 21 of Python programming, and the topic in this video is to demonstrate the use of constructors. And the types of constructors are given as default constructor, then parameterized constructor, then we have to do constructor overloading here. So this topic is designed according to case scheme of Diploma Computer and IT students, but anyone who wants to understand the object-oriented features of Python programming, then wants to understand classes and objects and constructors, can follow this video till end. You will understand it very clearly. So what is constructor? Constructor is a special member function that is used to initialize an object of any class. So that is the general definition. So it is similar to any function that we are defining inside our class. We have already seen how to create class and functions inside a class in previous videos. So similarly, we will be creating a special member function inside our class, and that member function will be called as a constructor. And basically it is used to initialize an object of the class. So whenever we are creating any object of the class inside our program, that means we are calling that constructor. So the function is called there and it is called as a constructor. So that is the general definition of constructor, and that we will see in the coding part. So let us move to the practical related questions. So the first question is, write a Python program to implement parameterized constructor. So as it is a member function, so it can have parameters or it cannot have any parameters. So similarly the constructor can be having parameters or it is having zero parameters. In that case it will become a default constructor. So whenever you are not specifying any parameter inside your constructor definition, that becomes a default constructor, and whenever you are adding parameters to the constructor while defining, then it becomes parameterized constructor. So in this question what we have to see, we have to implement parameterized constructor. So we have to create a constructor, and in that constructor we have to add some parameters. So let us move to the coding part directly. So for example, I am taking this program as an example of car class. So defining my class as class space car. So this is my class name. Then after that I am putting colon, that means we are starting the class definition now. Then after putting tab, I am defining this function. So we have already seen this function in previous video. We are defining the constructor using init function. So def is the defining keyword. Then after that you have to put space, then double underscore init, then again double underscore, then starting of the parameter bracket. So this is how the constructor is created. So whenever you are creating any constructor inside your own class, you have to follow these steps. You have to define a function with the name double underscore init and double underscore. That means it is initialization function. So in the parameter bracket, as I have explained in previous videos, that whenever you are creating any function inside your class, you have to put first parameter as self only. So that's why self is included. Then after that I am putting comma, then taking one more parameter as make. So that will be considered as car make company. Then after that comma model. So this is the second parameter that will be considered as car model. Then comma third parameter as year. So this is the manufacturing year of the car. So this is how I have included three parameters. So it becomes a parameterized constructor, and the self is the default parameter that we have to include inside every function. So inside the constructor definition, what I am doing, self.make is equal to make. So that means the parameter value, that is make value, will be taken into this make value of this car class variable. So I am initializing the make variable of this car class using self.make. Similarly, I am initializing self.model, then self.year. So this is how all the three parameters are copied into these three variables of the car class. Then finally I am just printing a simple statement. A new car object is being created using constructor. So this is how it will be printed whenever you are calling the constructor of this class. So after that I am closing this constructor definition and starting a new function definition, that is def display. So this is the display function. Again it is not having any parameters, so we have to include only self here. Then I am printing car make, and attaching self.make, that means the make value of the variable will be displayed here. That means the car make will be displayed here. Then I am printing car model, then self.model will be displayed, then printing car year, self.year will be displayed here. Now the function is closed here and also class is closed here. Now next we are moving to the main part of the program. In that we are creating one variable, that is c underscore name is equal to input enter car make company. So it is asking me the company name of the car, so that will be accepted into this c name variable. Similarly, I am accepting c model is equal to input enter car model, again it will be accepted, and c year is equal to int input enter car year. So the year value will be accepted into c year variable using integer format. So after that I am just creating simple one object of this class, so that is car1 is equal to, I am specifying the class name, and after that I have to specify the bracket. In that bracket I have to pass three parameters because we have created a constructor with three parameters. So that's why we have to pass first parameter as the car name, so c underscore name, then second parameter as model, that is c underscore model, and the third parameter as year, so c underscore year. So all the three values accepted from the user are taken and they are passed as a parameters into this bracket. So this is how this statement will call the constructor, and while calling the constructor it will automatically initialize the values inside the variables of this car class using all the three parameters. So this is how the name, model and year of the car will be initialized at this statement. So after that I am just calling car1.display. So object name dot display function is called here, and according to display function definition it will just print the car make and it will attach the value of make, then car model, then it will attach the value of model, and similarly for year it will display the year here. So the coding is complete here. We have created one constructor, and in that one constructor we have passed three parameters, and the same constructor is called while initializing the object, and we have passed the three parameters here. So the coding is complete. To run this program I just have to go to the location and I have to open cmd here. So the command is py space filename.py. So after entering, it is asking to enter a car make company, so I am entering Maruti, then car model, so I am entering Swift, then car year 2025. So all the three values are given to the program that will be accepted into their respective variables. Then after that we have created object, so that's why this message is printed, a new car object is being created using constructor. So at this point the constructor is called and all the three values are initialized inside your class variables. Then the print statement is running here of display function, so that's why car make is printed, and car model is printed, and car year is also printed here. So this is how we have called a constructor. We have created one object, so at that time the constructor is called, we have initialized all the values using constructor, then after that we have called a display function, and in the display function it is displaying all the values that we have provided as parameters to the constructor. So this is how we have created a parameterized constructor inside this program, and this question is complete here. Now the second question is write a Python program to implement constructor overloading. So in C++ programming as well as Java programming, we have already seen the concept of overloading. We can overload functions as well as constructors. So what is overloading? We are using the function with the same name but different set of parameters. In that case our function becomes overloaded. That means that concept is called overloading, and we are using the same function name with different parameters. So the definition will be changed and the purpose of that function will be changed. So actual coding inside that function will change but the name will be same. So that is called overloading. So this is the concept of polymorphism, where we are using the same name for different purposes. So this is how same concept can be applied to the constructors. So whenever we are creating multiple constructors, obviously the constructor is having same name but they are designed or they are created for different purpose. So that case become the case of constructor overloading. So the same concept we are going to use here. We are creating the constructor but we are providing different parameters to the constructor each time. So according to the set of parameters it will perform or it will initialize the class object accordingly, and the class object coding will be different each time whenever we are providing different parameters. So this is the concept of constructor overloading. But in case of Python, we are using constructor overloading with the help of init function, but we don't have init function definition multiple times. We can create init function only once, so that's why we have to use a different method here. So that method is called using default arguments and conditional logic. So this is how we are going to use single init function here, but we are providing different set of parameters according to our logic difference. So directly moving toward the code. So this is the general code for constructor overloading that I have created. So I have created one class, that is class shape. So inside that class, what I am doing, I am defining my constructor as def, then double underscore init, then double underscore. In the parameter bracket, we have to pass the parameters. So in this constructor parameter, I am taking self as the default parameter that we have to see, we have to include in every function. Then comma, second parameter is width and equal to none. So this is how I am defining the constructor parameter as none initially. So width is equal to none. That means initially I am using default argument here, which is none. So that means width is having no value here. Then height is equal to none. So this is how I have included two parameters here. Both the values are using default argument value, that is none. So that means even if you are not providing any parameter here, the value will be taken as none. So this is how we are using the constructor with zero arguments. Next, inside the constructor definition, what I am doing, I am using if condition. So if width is not none and height is not none, that means both the values are not none. So what is the case when the values are not none? Whenever we are providing two parameters to this constructor bracket, that means both the values are not none. So in that case, this if condition will be run, and in that if condition, what I am doing, self.width is equal to width. So I am taking the width value and accepting that value into width variable of this shape class. Same, I am accepting the height value of this parameter to the height value of shape class variable. So this is how, if the both values are provided, that means we are initializing width and height of this shape. Then I am using else if, that is elif width is not none and height is none. So what is the case when width is not none and height is none? That means whenever we are providing only single parameter to this function bracket. So at that time the width value will be taken, that is only value will be provided, and height will be default none. So this is how only one value will be provided. In that case, this else if part will be run, and in that we are assigning self.width is equal to width and self.height is equal to width. That means we are providing both the parameters to width and height value. So this is how we are providing both the values to width and height. Next, else part. So whenever we are not providing any parameter to this bracket, that means both the value will be none. So at that time the else part will run and both the values will be taken as zeros. So I am initializing them as self.width is equal to 0, then self.height is equal to 0. So this is how we have constructed, or we have developed constructor overloading here according to set of parameters, and each time whenever we are providing the set of parameters, it will behave differently according to our logic conditions. So this is how constructor overloading is achieved here. Then I am just defining one more function, that is diff area. Then in that passing default parameter, that is self. Then I am returning self.width into self.height. So I am just returning the multiplication of width and height values of these variables. So it will be calculated as area, and it is returning the value. That means we have to store that value into some another variable. So the function definition is complete here, and also the class definition is completed here. Now moving toward the main part of the program. So in that main part, what I am doing, I am taking side underscore square as a variable. Then I am accepting the side of the square. So putting the message then that the value will be accepted into integer format into this variable. Then I am using obj underscore square, obj underscore sq is equal to shape. So this is the calling of constructor, and in that parameter bracket I am passing side underscore square. So I am just passing only single parameter here. So according to definition, both the parameters will be taken as width and height, and that will be considered as a side of square. So the object is initialized here. So at this location our constructor will be called and object is initialized. Then I am calculating area underscore sq. So this is the new variable, is equal to obj sq dot area. So the area function is called here. The area will be calculated using this formula, and that the value will be returned, and that value will be stored into this area underscore sq variable. So we have calculated the area of square, and while calculating the area we have passed only single parameter to this shape class constructor. So the area is calculated, that we have printed afterwards. Then I am using one more variable, that is width underscore rect is equal to int input enter width of rectangle. So that value will be accepted into integer format into width of the rectangle. Similarly, I am accepting height of the rectangle here and putting the message. So the value will be accepted into integer format and height underscore rect will be accepted. Then I am creating one more object, and this time while creating the object, what I am doing, obj underscore rect is equal to shape. So this is the calling of constructor, but in the parameter bracket I am passing two parameters here. So width underscore rect comma height underscore rect. So this is how we are passing two parameters. So according to our constructor definition, width is not none and height is not none condition will be run, and both the values will be initialized according to width and height values. So this is how we have initialized width and height using the constructor, and this is how it is the width and height of rectangle now. So according to the constructor definition, the object will be created. Then again I am using area underscore rect. So this is the new variable again, is equal to obj underscore rect dot area. So I am calling area function on this obj underscore rect object. So according to width and height values, again the multiplication will be done, and that value will be stored into this area underscore rect. So finally we have got both the areas. So I am just printing the area of square is message and attaching area underscore sq. Again I am printing area of rectangle is area underscore rect. So this is how both the areas are printed here. But this time what we have done, we have used constructor overloading, because according to parameter numbers the condition will be executed and accordingly the values will be initialized. So the coding is complete here. So to run the program I have to go to the location, then I'm just opening CMD again, then the command is py space my file name. So rect.py is the file name. So it is asking me to enter side of square, so I am entering 6 here. Then it is asking to enter width of rectangle, so I am entering 8. Then height of the rectangle is 5. So after entering, you can see area of square is calculated, which is taken as width and height as a 6 only. So automatically it becomes square. Then the area of square is 36 is printed. Then according to second constructor, we have provided 8 and 5 to the second constructor, and the width and height is taken accordingly, and the product is printed as 40, which is the correct answer of area. So this is how what we have done in this program. We have created one constructor only, but we are using the same constructor for different purpose. Each time we are providing parameters, accordingly the condition is executed and the respective definition is executed here. This is called constructor overloading. It is having the same constructor name but different set of parameters, and accordingly it is executing the different definition. So this is how this question is completed. Also this practical is completed, which was just regarding using constructor. In that we have created our own constructor, then using that constructor we have initialized the object, then we have called the constructor while creating our object. Then after calling the constructor we have executed the respective method, and in the second question we have used the concept of constructor overloading properly using default argument and if else conditions. So this is how this practical is ended here. So that's it for today's practical. I hope you understand the program clearly. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such programming solutions, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. If you have any doubts or need solutions for other programs, drop a comment below. I will be happy to help. Thanks for watching and happy coding.